now, because I didn't have a chance to do it in, right now I'm the only one that's in here. I didn't get a chance to record fourth. We're going to record this one and I'm going to upload it. And then I'm going to show y'all how, even though we only have a couple remote kids in here, how you would access that. I'll have to show you with my Earth Space page because I haven't done it on this page. We'll see how psychotic my Smart Ink is for when I put it on my YouTube channel and I lost my Smart Ink. Where'd you go, Smart Ink? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. Come back over here. Behave, Smart Ink. There we go. Okay, so you guys have an opener. Let me turn the light off. Let me take attendance. I'm slowly figuring out the parameters of my smartboard. I didn't know that I had boundaries I had to sort of ignore. Now I do. Unfreeze. Take attendance. Where did my attendance page go? Not there. Now I think we finished the notes with you guys yesterday. It was the assignments. Okay, so we'll get to that in just a second. You guys don't not doing space. I'm almost sad that my space unit is ending. My favorite point for space. Teaching them relativity, all that good stuff. All right, so you guys. We have a date period. There is an opener. You guys can go to it. Now, hold on. If you're not exactly sure how to work it, we're actually going to work it out. So I honestly think you can do this one without much help, especially since I gave you the 2 conversion factors. And y'all, I don't make you memorize conversion factors. I'm going to give them to you. Y'all put the phones away. You've got your Chromebooks. All right, so I've got Breland Benson. Now, Nathaniel, he's hopefully going to pop online. Because he, I think, had close contact. I think. Tyson. I'm not sure. Either that or he went remote. I'm having people flip-flopping all over the place. Dorn, Emma, Lily, Grayson, Trevor. Okay, Marisol. I don't think this kid is on my roll. Asher. George, and then Jessica's remote. I haven't seen her yet. Hayden and Justin. Okay, so, and then this one too. They may pop on. And this one. Why are you always so late? I'm supposed to be sending you to go get party notes. You're in the restroom? You need to start walking fast. Now I need to fix your attendance. Okay, so, all right, we'll see how well my board behaves. I saw blue. Looks like it's working on it. Yesterday, we did one-step conversions. One step, you're starting in one unit, and then in one step, you're converting it into something else. Now, because I have 2 conversion factors up here, I'm going to take basically 2 one-steps and link them together. I'm actually introducing multi-step. I don't think we're actually going to get into the notes on multi-step until Monday. So tomorrow, we have a shorter period, and I'm planning on tomorrow, you may still have questions about how to work these out. That's fine. But really tomorrow, I was focusing on letting you guys have time to assemble your notebooks. Because some of you just need a little bit of time to put things together. These are the same notes we were doing from yesterday. It's just we didn't get to the assignment. I think I gave it to you, but we didn't really have a lot of time to work on it. So let's see, that's tomorrow. Thursday, you guys have, and I hear somebody dinging on. I'm gonna move my slot around a little bit. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm probably gonna lose my Smart Ink. Let me put this down. Appease the smartboard gremlins. Okay, so let's see who's dinging on. So yes, can somebody just I have to change the way I'm presenting real quick, which means I'm probably going to lose my Smart Ink, and I'm just going to have to come back and forth to fix it. All right, I see Douglas. Okay, I'm going to change the way I'm presenting. I'm actually recording this. I did not record yesterday as I forgot. So I'm going to stop presenting. Going to share my screen. It's okay. We're just now starting. Don't worry about it. All right. So on my screen, what you guys see is I added the testing schedule here. You have to like copy this and paste it, and it's going to give you the Hornet highlighter, and the schedule for everything is right here. No, you don't have to, you guys have access to it. So I'm going to see you for no, that's the wrong. We're 8th period. I'm going to see you for a short period, just 30 minutes tomorrow. Like I said, I'm trying my best to give you time to try to get your notebooks together. We really have only had 9 sections. And then our test is from 3 to 4. Online students are supposed to be logging in at the same time. Now, it is a 10-question test. I still have not seen it. It is in a new program. And now I can get rid of this. Okay, it is all, I did not make this, none of us made this test, okay? So you don't have access into some of this yet, but your testing, I have to provide you guys with a link, and then it's gonna take you to this thing called Aware, and your user ID is just your ID number, whatever your 900 or 100,000 or whatever your number is. And then your password is going to be lowercase ahs for the high school, and then what we used to call £, and you guys call it hashtag, and then not parentheses, but then you repeat your ID number. That's how you're going to get in. Going to give you access. You have the full hour. You have more than enough time. If any of you have like read things on request, you're more than welcome to ask me. But what we have is you'll have to have headphones, but you scan this QR code with your cell phone, and we'll read all the questions to you. And that way you don't have to go to Learning Lab. If you have Learning Lab as part of something, like it actually is, or if you told me, then I let her know, but you can still stay in here and take the test in here. That's no problem. It is, at least you guys aren't the first class. Fourth period, it might be a total train wreck because nobody's used that before. That program that you guys are having this test on. So where you guys should be is on the opener. Now, I drug the assignment from yesterday down to today. We're going to take a look at this YouTube together instead of you guys doing it individually. And you're going to use that YouTube this YouTube to be able to fill out this slide. And then you guys are going to submit me that. And I mean, we can do it from the YouTube if you guys have them up at the same time as I'm playing the YouTube. Don't open it yet, quite yet. It should be an easy submission. I've already put in the openers. You either did them and you got 100 or you had massive points deducted from it. So like I said, everything is right here. Now I'm going to go back. Am I still presenting my screen? Yes, I am still. So like if I show this is what, now sorry, I'm not trying to make you go into a portal or anything. So he sees what my screen says. Now, if I go back to, it just keeps going. That's pretty cool. But if I go back here, now that's going to stop for him. Let's just hope my smart ink stays. So he's going to see this, and I'm recording this, and I'm going to upload this. Oh, please tell me I hit record. Yes. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to work this opener together. You guys should have this opened up, and you have to figure out in your question, and it says how many hours are there in 5 years. We need to figure out what are we starting with and what are we trying to change it into. So first, what are you starting with? You have to have a number. What are you starting with? No. 5 years. These are conversion factors. This is like saying 1 foot is 12 inches. The problem is how many hours are there in 5 years? So my starting point, or what I always used to call, was the given, because I used to use something called the guess method. You identify the given, you identify the unknown, you identify the equation, if you have one, a formula. In this case, it's a factoring thing. Then you substitute in the stuff that you know, and then you give me the solution or the answer. I have taught using the guess method for forever. I don't know if I'm even going to remotely pull it in, but because it's been burnt into my brain, I call the starting thing a given. It's a provided. It is a known. Your math teachers may have called it another thing. But this is what I'm starting with. And what am I trying to change into? Hours. Okay, so if I'm starting in years, the next smallest thing that I know of off the top of my head is to go to days. Well, a year is much longer than a day. So it's 1 year is 365 days. Then once I'm in days, I know that there's 24 hours in one day. The day is bigger, it gets a 1. The hour is smaller, it gets the conversion. More often than not, that is the trend that you're going to see in this class. The bigger guy gets a 1. The smaller guy gets the conversion factor, and that includes metrics. They all fall into the same thing. Remember, further to the left is bigger, it gets a 1. So if I'm going from kilo to base, the kilo gets a 1, the base gets the 10 to the third, which is 1,000. You guys just have to learn the process. That is the hardest part about this. Where do your units go? Because if your units are in the wrong spot, you're going to put the numbers in the wrong spot. The units actually run the problems. Now, the school wants me to show you factoring. I'm going to show you both up here. So I am starting with 5 years. Now, I've always been taught you have to put a number underneath it. In this case, it's anything divided by 1 is itself. Whatever this unit is, and this is what some of you were asking me at the end of the period yesterday, am I doing this right? And you were flip-flopping it. You are constantly linking diagonally because you want to divide out. I don't want to be in years. Now, once I'm in years, the only thing I can change it into is what? From years, I can go to days. And then just like the years drop down, the days are going to drop down. And once I'm in days, do I have a way to go to hours? Yes. I'm sure you guys have played dominoes before. You can't play one until you have a matching bit, right? You can't. This is how you match, and then you convert, and then this is how you match, and then you convert, and then you keep adding on conversion factors until all of the units have canceled out, except for the thing that you're solving for, which is always the top right. Now, I get these numbers from my conversion factors. So we're going to start with years and days. What number is stuck to the year? Well, no, that's not stuck to the year. What's stuck to the year is the number 1. 1 year is 365 days. And then here, it is sort of nice that I'm starting to finally figure out, I just jinxed it. I'm starting to figure out the smart word. The 1 is with the day, the 24 is with the hour. It is way more important to get your units first because the unit tells you what number goes with it. I don't make you memorize conversion factors. I will give them to you. If I have to stand up here and look up how to go between quarts and liters, I'm not going to make you memorize them. That's not right. You need to know how to run the process. Now, you can double check and you can clean everything up. And I only have 4 colors to choose from until I go into the color wheel. So top and bottom years, they cancel out or they divide out. However your math teacher has taught you. I don't know how the math teachers teach here. Days and days cancel. Do you need to divide by the number 1? Does it change anything? No. I mean, you can put it in there if you really wanted to, but you're just wasting your time. So I don't need to multiply or divide by 1. So what are you left with doing if the entire bottom has canceled out? It's just straight multiplication. So, which I know some of you are like, oh, well, I know I have to multiply them, but this is easy because you're familiar with time. Later on this year, we're going to get to stuff you're not so familiar with. You don't know that 1 mole is 22.4 liters of a gas. And if it's oxygen, 1 mole of a gas is 32.0 grams. That is your cheat sheet on the wall. I need to teach you how to read it. You don't know that 1 mole of oxygen gas has 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of oxygen gas, and that 1 molecule of oxygen gas has 2 atoms in it, because we haven't gotten there yet. They're still equivalent measures. I just need to teach you how to figure it out. That's the hardest part. All right, so I'm going to multiply. Please don't let what I just said scare you. That is way further down the road. 5 times 365 times 24. Now, I'm going to write down a number, but it's not going to be right. Okay, so the calculator tells me, in its infinite wisdom, that this is 43,800 hours. If I get too close to the edge, it makes it go forward. I finally have learned that. How many sig figs are in this? 3. How many is what I'm starting with? Guess what's going to control the answer? Not the conversion factors. There is only one number in 5 years. So guess how many numbers should be in your answer? 1. This is where you guys aren't used to doing big rounding. Is the 3 enough to round the 4 up? That is actually the correct answer with sig figs. You're used to just rounding like that here. When we get into the heavy math, all that stuff I'm just spouting out, you're like, my teacher's scaring me. We round to the order of sextillions in this class. Times 10 to the 23rd power is a sextillion value, 602 sextillion. We use that number all the time. It's called Avogadro's number. We're just not there yet. Now, do you want me to show you the fence post, which is the other way? Okay, just fine. Okay, so I'm just going to write. Oh. Okay, we learned the smart board is only so smart sometimes. You change it to your eraser. It's okay. At least it's not like making me want to punch it anymore, because I was really getting frustrated there. All right, so I know it's a 2-step problem, okay, but still, I'm gonna start my cross. I know I'm gonna at least have 1 step. Your starting thing still goes here, and by reflex, you need to immediately drop that unit. I don't care if this unit is a booger or a penny or a puppy or a rock. Whatever this is going to go down. And then you look at your conversion factors. If I'm in years, the only thing I can go to is days. Don't worry about filling in numbers yet. But I haven't gotten to hours yet. Just like the year went down, the day is going to go down. Please, Ford, just work with me for a change. And once I'm in days, do I have a successful way to get to hours? Yeah. I'm not going to make you memorize these conversion factors. You need to know how to use them. Now I'm going to come back. This is this one. So 1 year is 365 days. Green. This is this one. 1 day is 24 hours. And then I can come back and do the same thing. And it is always best to double check and make sure that everything has canceled out. If all you're left with is what you're changing it into, your stoichiometry was right. Because this really isn't stoichiometry, but it's the same process. A lot of people freak out. You don't have to have something there. If that bothers you, put a 1 there, but it's going to cancel out anyways. Everything's on the top. It is still multiplication. And with sig figs, it is going to round to, I think you said it was 40,000 hours with rounding rules. This is the same thing as the other one. Whichever your brain understands better, do it. They're both really the same thing. It's just one has parentheses, and for some reason, you guys get confused by parentheses. I don't know why, you just do it. Okay, so we did that. Well, it's not really. Supposed to let me just, there. There we go. I have to remember what's on my slide. Now, we went through all of the notes. We went through all of the practice problems. What we're going to do next, before we go back and see where you guys are stuck, is I want you guys to go into, new portal. I want you to go to this Google slide. Okay. And, no, wait. Yeah. The Google slides from the YouTube link, and it's going to you have to make a copy. It's going to bring this up. I don't know if you guys had to duplicate the stuff on the side or not, because I don't know if this is the one I made from it. But as we're going through the YouTube thing, because I'll play it up here, is you need to drag these things where they belong from what this guy says. And he does it on, he doesn't talk. It's got this really like odd music in the background. But you're going to figure out like these squares, not the big rectangles, but the smaller rectangles. These have to deal with units. And then there's also stuff we're going to put there. And then after that, this is actually one that he does. We're changing from American dollars into the Japanese yen, which is their monetary system. He actually will do this with you, and you're going to drag them where they belong as I play the YouTube. And then you guys are going to do one by yourself, going from 5.5 miles to kilometers. But we're going to watch the YouTube link. Okay, so I'm going to open this. In fact, if I don't, I'm going to stop sharing. Now I'm going to present. Oh, he's not on there anymore. Okay. I'm going to present the conversion of the units just because they, to hear, I've learned that I have to do things in a right. Okay, now so you can hear me. He's not on there again. Okay, so now that you can hear me, he said he was having Wi-Fi problems anyways, which, okay, so this first one that you're filling in, so you start with, he doesn't put his in a factor, and honestly, if I did the cross, this is the top left-hand block, and I don't put anything with, that's my starting block, that's my given. And he was converting, his problem was 7.3 meters into centimeters. This is a metric conversion using this on the board, which you can't see from the screen. So we've got, and I really probably should have let it see me, but that's okay, because then everything's inverted and I don't want to confuse you. So These match. Okay, these are the units that we start with. They have to match. That is your very first step. It should be by reflex. Like that first one on the homework was going from like rods to meters. So if this is a rod, that is a rod, and then it gave you a conversion to go to meters. This is not that one. This is going between meters and centimeters, where 1 meter, this is 100. If you don't believe me, put 10 to the second in the calculator. It's going to tell you 100. This means a 1 with 2 zeros. That is what that power means. So this is what you're changing into, which is going to be your unknowns unit. They need to match. And if you can do this in one step, it's a one-step conversion. That one we did with time was 2 one-steps. That was a 2-step conversion. You just are familiar with time. You're not familiar with this. So then I had to have the conversion factor, which he brought that in on a card. And it was 1 meter was 100 centimeters. And like I said, the meter, the base is to the left. It keeps its 1. The centi to the right, it keeps its conversion factor, which is 10 to the second or 100. Remember, if you're going to the right, you're moving that decimal, in this case, 1, 2 to the right. 1, 2 is how we got 730 centimeters. The ones that were in green, that was the conversion factor. But that comes from the conversion factor. In this case, it was 1 meter was 100 centimeters. I'm going to go ahead and play it some more. Before I do that, I have to turn my mic off. Yeah, and then I'm going to change my presentation to my slide. Okay, you guys now have this one to do, and you're doing this one on your own. George and Asher, are you with us? We're on the third one of this Google slide. We just did 1 and 2. Okay, so it's wanting to go from 5.5 miles, so you should know where that's going to go. And what should you do with the unit for miles immediately, which is MI? What should you do with the MI? Put it where? Well, there, but once you do that, in the next step, where does miles go? The top or the bottom? To the bottom. And then you're changing it into kilometers. Now, he gives you a conversion factor up here. I'm not moving this for you. You guys are doing this and you're going to submit it to me. So, like I said, these match. These need to match. These need to match. Wherever you put the kilometer, it's going to get a 1. Wherever you put the mile, it's going to put 0.621. Really, it should have a 0 there in front of it. That's not properly written. But the mile gets the 0.621. The kilometer gets the 1. That is this part right here. If they're both on the top, you multiply. If there's a 1 here and that 0.6 number's here, then it's this number divided by that number. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this now. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. Yes, I really hope my mic is hot. I've been talking all that time and yes, my mic is hot. So turn my presentation audio off. I may have just been echoing. I did not mean to. Okay, so on your papers, what did I do with them? Okay, some of you, I don't know if anybody turned it in. Some of you may end up needing a new copy. So I printed some more off in case you made a mistake. Why did the air turn off? Oh, great. Air conditioning is, gotta love it. All right, so does there anybody need just another minute? Because I want to walk through this first one with you. Well, I want to make sure that you're doing them right because I have people that turn them in 4th period and all their stuff is upside down. Oh, yes, you can submit the slides through Canvas. There should be a file of the. So the first one on here says. Oh, made it all this time without having a boo-boo, and I had a boo-boo. Let's see if I can get it to. I think it'll work. So it says how many meters? It's not going to do it. I need to change the screen because it's writing it on the Google Meet slide. Stop presenting. Present my screen. Okay, so some of you may feel comfortable turning this in. Some of you are actually going to want a new copy to redo it, which is okay. It says on problem number 1 on the paper, how many meters? I'm just going to use the M abbreviation. Are in 17.5 rods. I don't even know what a rod is a measurement of. But it's abbreviated RD. Okay, so that the way that this guy was doing it, he wasn't using the parentheses, but I'm trying to stay as close to the other teachers as possible. I will show you both ways. We start with 17.5 rods. Where does rod have to go immediately for the next step? I don't care how many steps this is. Where does rod go? This unit, where does it go? It goes down. Y'all, that by reflex. I don't care what this unit is. It could be grams, liters, moles, atoms, particles, formula units. There's all these words that we're going to learn in this class. Whatever that is needs to go down. And then if you look at your conversion factor, where it says the conversion factor is 1 rod, is 5.029 meters. I'd have to give that to you. So we're changing it to meters. This conversion factor lets us do that directly. The rod gets what number? A 1. The meter gets what number? It's attached to it. It's like it's super glued. What's attached to the meter? I know I'm writing sort of small. So rods go away. Dingy, dingy, dingy. Do you need to divide by 1? No, you can. So this is a straight multiplication problem. Okay, so 17.5 times 5.029. And I get a bunch of numbers. Okay, so I get 88.0075. I am in meters, but now I need to check my sig figs. I had people ask me, how do I know how many sig figs? However many you're starting with. Not this. 17.5 has 3 numbers in it. 88.0. Is that 0 going to affect this 0? No. So it's going to round to 88.0 meters, and that would be the correct answer for this one. You should be able to submit it with Canvas. Right here. Did you find it? Okay. I know we do. You can, if you need to turn it in tomorrow, you can. Does anybody need a fresh copy that you made mistakes and you want a fresh copy of the paper from yesterday? You do? I ran off extras. No. That's okay. That's why we're doing this. And we actually will have about 30 minutes tomorrow, too. That's why you're actually, we have done like multiple things. You still have this from yesterday. You don't think you got, it's the same. Some people need a fresh copy because they made mistakes. You just did a Google slide that should have been submitted. It should have been an easy 100. Anybody else want a fresh copy? You need one over here? I promise you, once you learn the process, it's not hard. Anybody else get a fresh copy? It is a Canvas. Yes. Make sure you set my normals. Yes, okay, so you're provided the 3.20 has 3 numbers, so your answer is going to be 5.12. So now I'm going to change the 2 to a 3. So change it to a 3, erase everything else. So that's in the and then now it's in what? KM, that's exactly correct, yes. Then your answer's going to have 3 numbers. Okay, every single time. That is correct. That is correct. No, it's the one after. Because this is it's 5 to 5 to. Is that a 5 or 3? Yeah. Your first number. Your answer. No, that's 5. That's a 5. Okay. No, she's right. Oh, no, I wrote this wrong. Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, 5.1529. So it would have been 6. 5.15, that means 5.15. Okay. Got it? Now I see. So 1.5 because the 2 is not enough to round it. Yeah. Okay. And then it's K, yes, you have KM. Yes, your answer should have units on them. So anybody else that wants to know if they're doing it right. You want to know if you did the top one right? Okay, so you have, okay, so miles. Okay, so this used to be miles, and this used to be kilometers. But you're changing it into the kilometers. Starting with those two. And then, because it is way more important to get your unit in the right place, because then the mile gets the 0.621, which is going to be down here. And then the kilometer gets the 1, because they're both super good. So these are actually it's, yeah, however many your provided thing has, is going to be how many your answer has. Now I'm going to stop this recording